Hello my beautiful people. So we talked about it for some time and I have decided to start doing product reviews. It's not just product reviews as well, it's always going to be things that are in line with what we do, with what we're about. So things to do with spirituality, herbs, herbal oils, essential oils, different tarot decks, all kinds of weird and wonderful things that you might find in a store, or and I'll be posting links as well for you to go and check out on Amazon if you are interested. I'm just giving my honest reviews about things, so I want to be completely and 100% transparent about everything. So welcome to the Shaman Shack table. Got my trusty cup of tea. For those of you that are wondering, it is spearmint and chamomile with honey, and it is lush. So what I want to talk about today, today's review, this first ever review is, and I have to say I do know the author personally, but I call him like my magical papa, because the dude is just amazing. He's fast becoming one of my favourite people. He's an amazing mentor, and he's actually a really just a bloody nice person. He's really genuine, he's so warm and so giving and free of his knowledge. So who am I talking about? I am talking about Hoodoo Sen Moise. And this is his brand new book, which is currently #1 on Amazon. I'm so happy for him because it's truly, truly amazing. So the book itself is called Working Conjure, A Guide to Hoodoo Folk Magic. Now, the thing is, a lot of people are kind of like, oh, isn't hoodoo voodoo? No, it's not. Moise will go into all of that. He dispels a lot of myths. He talks really deeply and quite sensitively as well about some really not touchy subjects, but he's really sympathetic to the history of where Conjure has come from, what hoodoo really is. And he speaks really honestly and openly. And for those of you that do know him, there are bits in there that will make you laugh, because it's like you can literally hear him speaking it as you're reading it. And that for me was truly wonderful, because it's almost like he's literally conjured himself into the book, and he can, like you can literally hear him speaking. And it's a really wonderful thing when you can, you can visualize somebody's voice saying the words that they've written. And that really, what really comes across for me is how authentic he is, that he really knows his shit, like he's on point. He's really very honest, very open as well. And the book is kind of like, yes, there's the, what's the word? It's the kitchen cookbook stuff, absolutely, where he talks and walks you through things. But for me, it was about his writings. There are bits in here that absolutely really spoke to my soul. And there's one in particular that I want to talk about. I've marked them off with my tarot cards, as every witch usually does. Well, they're with me with, whatever I do, wherever I go, so why not? So this one in particular was for, that I really, really enjoyed, was it was actually about a cleansing bath for clearing away blocks, which is is a staple. We all reach points in our lives where we feel like we're kind of stuck and we want to know what's going on, or we just want to remove the blocks or the ties that we feel are binding us. And he's given that, absolutely. But one of the things that he's written here that I absolutely loved, because it puts you squarely at the focus, and it really asks you to take some fucking responsibility, excuse my language, and I really love that about him, because even if he knows you, he won't tell you what you want to hear, he will tell you what you need to hear. And I resonate with that. For those of you that know me, that have watched my, you know, readings over the last 2 years and grown with me, you know, I will tell you exactly what I see. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I might do if that's in the cards for you, but I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear, because very often what you need to hear is what's going to get you to where you would like to be in your life. So one of the things here that he's put here is he's put that after the first invocation of one of the psalms, he's put here, now this psalm is of repentance. So why are we doing this? The reason is there are always things we have done in our lives that render negative build-up and are counterproductive to our moving forward. Receiving blessings and prospering in everyday aspects of our lives, the work of this psalm brings cleansing and renewal, and for that reason it's important. So, you know, what he's basically saying there is, you know, it's all well and good that you want to clear away your blocks, which, you know, which he's actually giving you a means and a manner to do. And he's saying that, you know, he acknowledges that this is a very, you know, it's a very real phenomena that we're all going to come across at one point in our lives. What I really love about it, though, is the authenticity of the fact that he's owned and not forced you, but, you know, he's asking the reader to really take responsibility for what it is that they've done as well, you know. And it's not about blame, it's not about pointing fingers, it's about honestly and openly opening up a discourse to say, look, you want to clear away your blocks, absolutely, and, you know, we'll facilitate you doing that. But in that process, you need to understand that there may well have been, and there very often is, let's face it, we're all human beings. We're all just doing our best. No matter how gifted we are all humans. If we were that ascended, we wouldn't be on this physical plane. That is just the truth of the matter. And what he does there is he gives you back that responsibility, not just for clearing your own path or clearing away the blocks around you. So he empowers you by doing that. But he also asks you to take serious responsibility, to acknowledge what it is that you may have done to help either cement those blocks in your life or bring them around. You know, and I really love that, because it's got such a deep truth to it. It's got such an honesty to it that I really loved. I really resonated with that, and I thought, you know, it's nice. It's nice to have somebody talk to you, you know, not like you're an idiot, but like somebody tell you, you know, this is part of what you're experiencing, maybe something that you brought on yourself. Not necessarily, but, you know, just acknowledging that we have a choice. We always have a choice, and that we have a part in it. So the other part, the other section that really spoke to me was chapter 8, and it's called The Spirit of Place. And what he's put here, yeah, another strong tie in the another strong tie that Conjure has is to what we would call a spirit of place. The spirit of place is something that holds potent power based on physical location. We often hear about different places and spaces that have potency, such as the crossroads or the graveyard, but there is so much more when it comes to these different areas. And that one in specific really spoke to me. Any one of you that knows me, you know, like friends and family and stuff. And I do have a fair few that watch, so some of you will be giggling as I say this. I spent probably between 17 and 21 about 30% of my life outside, outdoors, in the woods. Just sitting, meditating, listening to the trees, listening to the wind, you know, connecting myself to nature. Like really, I would go and, you know, we're talking about, I'm now 33. So we're talking about times when this stuff wasn't, you know, especially in an urban area that I grew up in, even though it's called the Shire. You know, it had some beautiful landscapes, and I was off exploring those places, barefoot and all. You know, at times where people were very sort of like, okay, I don't know, you know, we were all seen as hippies at that time. So, you know, to hear him talk about that and to have it really resonate with me was amazing. It really spoke to me, because I thought, yeah, do you know what? In the woods, you know, surrounded by trees, by nature, like listening to the animals and understanding the rhythms and the energies that surrounded me really spoke to me. And he talks about different types of places and what work they're relevant to, what you can conjure up there, what you can tap into in each spirit of place. And I thought it's just a really, really wonderful book. And there's one more section as well, which is a work to open up the roads, which is performed at a crossroads. I'm not going to tell you any more about it than that. If you want to, I suggest you go and get yourself a copy. This is a brilliant book. It's honest, it's profound, it's authentic. There are, like I said, there are bits of it that I found really humorous, because I could literally hear him in my ear, like saying, you know, certain phrases that he's written in the book, and that's truly wonderful. So there is a link down in the description if you should so want to check it out. Go and have a look if you are really serious about tying yourself in. And you know, one of the biggest things that I've forgotten to talk about is the ancestors. Gosh, I can't even believe that but there's just so much in it that I wanted to get into this review, and I don't want it to be, you know, like really long and really boring. But the talk that the talk and the way that he expresses what our ancestry is, what it means for us, the kind of power and ability that we are able to draw on should we decide to truly establish a connection. You see the candle going mental there when I said truly establish a connection. And what I can say to you from what he's taught me already is that when they come, you will know. And it's not something that just happens overnight. You've got to keep at it. And he talks about all of this stuff in there. It's just a really great book. Even if this isn't necessarily a path for you, I would say it was compulsory reading, because you will get some really clear gems from it that will speak directly to you. And it's all about tapping into the power of your history, the power of your blood, whether you are from America, whether you are mixed race, as I am, you know, whatever your heritage or your descendancy. This book is a real must. Get a copy, you know, read it, pass it on to a friend, get them to buy it, whatever. But get this book. You will absolutely love it. What I can tell you, for those of you that know, is I'm a witch. I'm not massively into the Bible stuff, but I understand the relevance that it has. You know, and to be honest and open, that part of it was kind of not difficult for me to swallow, but that didn't resonate with me. But there was so much about it that really did resonate with me, and I think Moise, knowing him, he would want me to be honest and say what I truly feel and think. So that was the first ever review of an item. There are so many more to come, some that will make you laugh, some that will you know, excite your senses, and other bits and bobs. So enjoy. Thank you so much for joining me as usual, my beautiful people. It was wonderful to have you, and I will see you very soon for more videos, for more reviews, and just more of everything. Take care, and I'll see you soon.